Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Today is my last day of bow tie. So my friend Trocom Page in Minnesota can have a rest. I know I've been irritating him all week. Today is day number 5 in the bow tie department. We have a lot of story to cover. This is the week in review. We are going to go all the way back to Monday. And we are going to touch on basically every topic that we have touched on. And then at the end of the day, we are going to discuss and select our playmakers of the week. Actually, this is the first week of the month, so we might well just do our player of the month of August, and then the best and the brightest in the first week of September. All the stories we have covered this week. If you went back to Monday, who is going to be your man or woman of the week? Which department or agency stands out most that needs to be celebrated? On the home front, women, especially young girls and babies, are under attack. Why so much violence against women? We began the week in Bapolu County where a young woman was brutally tortured. She was tied to a chair by men. And another woman came and assaulted her, slammed her after she was tied to a chair, her arm almost separated by the elbow. Another woman came, picked her up, and slammed her. All we heard from the senator was that the police have gotten involved and people were arrested. Someone in the comment section pointed out, don't listen to what the police says, don't listen to what the senator said. Within a week or so, that story will die out. You won't hear anything. And I think that person is correct. Mr. Senator Kamara, you have not briefed or brought the public up to date as to what's happening in Bapolu to that case. And then a 23-year-old man is being arrested in Nimba County for raping an 8-month-old baby. What kind of human being is that? Is that a human being? Should that person be among us? Should we allow such a monster to be among us? 23-year-old man raped an 8-month-old baby. Talking about child abuse, gender violence. A woman, husband, and her husband arrested for allegedly cutting a girl's finger. Over toddler's incident. This one is in Monrovia. The Liberia National Police had arrested a woman identified as Eve Wama and her husband after a disturbing incident in the New Georgia Gulf Community, District number 13, in which a little girl's finger was allegedly cut off as punishment for an accident during playtime. What is going on in the Republic of Liberia? What happened to our humanity? What happened to our upbringing? Those of you who were supporting war in the 80s, we told you, President Doe told you that this war that is beginning is a Trojan horse. There's more behind this than the removal of Doe. The United States Honor Secretary for African Affairs, Cohen, told us, if you allow your country to go to war because of one man, your country is going to go back 50 years minimum. Those of us that are much older than you, we've never seen this before. Not this much. A mother and a husband being punitive, punishing their daughter because she made a mistake somewhere, so they decided to cut her finger off. Are these human beings, my friends? Then on the front page of Front Page Africa, it says, Gender Ministry decries surge in violence against children, urges justice and stronger community protection. The Gender Ministry that's supposed to be in charge of protecting children itself is helpless, asking the government to help, as though they themselves, they are no or are not member of the government. Are we headed? Are we a failed state? On another note, FIFA taps Weah to lead global anti-racism players panel. It says, Monrovia, former Liberian president and Ballon d'Or winner George Weah, President Weah, has been appointed by FIFA to chair a new global panel of ex-footballers that will advise on anti-racism strategies across sports. The 16-member player voice panel features big names including Deirdre Drogba, Emmanuel Adebayo, Brianna Scorey, the U.S. goalkeeper who helped win the 1999 Women's World Cup. FIFA described the body as both a watchdog and a think tank. Tasked with guiding, initiating, monitoring progress, and promoting education at all levels of the game. Former President George Weah has been selected by FIFA to fight racism. The president of the University of Liberia appeared before the Senate. And they say University of Liberia urgently needs minimum $500,000 to reopen. $500,000 she says she needs to reopen. University of Liberia President Dr. Lila Myean says the institution urgently needs $500,000 to resume normal academic activities as of September the 8th, this coming Monday, warning that without the funds, the ongoing faculty strike will prolong and threaten the semester for thousands of students. The president disclosed that figure Thursday during a public hearing before the Senate Committee on Education and Public Administration. the expert, the lady that was brought in to turn the university around, is underfunded. She's asking for minimum $500,000. You promised her, you allocated $33 million in the budget. It's only on paper, she says, but she doesn't have it. The Liberian House of Representatives summons officials over alleged deforestation, land right violation in Grand Jetty. We will discuss that. The gentleman that was appointed by President Joseph Boakai to be the director of forestry, they warned him that this man was bad news. He was corrupt. He has been one of those who have been the spearheading force behind Liberia deforestation. And President Boakai made him chief of the industry. It's like appointing the fox to hide the hens, the cuckoo's nests. That's what's happening there. These are the stories that we are working on. Let me welcome Myean. Myean, welcome to the studio.
How you doing, Mr. Gayman, and how everything?
So far, from the great state of Florida, it is beautiful out here. It's getting cooler. It's 74 degrees. When it's dark, 74, we start shaking over here. We're used to high degrees temperatures in Liberia. So far, so good.
Yes, our weather here for today is good. Just like yesterday, we experienced serious rain on our way from Nima coming to Montserrat. We experienced so many rain. That was the same rain people from this end experienced here on yesterday. I can say we experienced it all over the entire southeast part. We experienced rain. But for today, the weather is good from our end here.
Excellent, excellent. Let me say welcome to all of our friends, Truth FM 96.1 and Hot FM. And soon we're going to be welcoming our guests and our listeners through Care Radio. I see Joanne is tuning in from Brewerville. You know, I visited Brewerville when I was in Liberia. I grew up literally there. Every December I'll go to Brewerville to the youth convention at Jeter Chapel AME Church. Jeter on the Rock. Say hi to the Wilsons. Yes, I'm quite familiar with Brewerville. And let me say David Williams from Colorado is tuning in. Seleke, I don't know where you guys turning in from. If you tune in and don't tell us where you're calling from, we can't say hi to the folks in your hometown. But young man, there is a video that is trending. Hopefully you have queued it. We will play this video twice. This is the level to which Liberia has sunk. Watch what is happening here to a law enforcement officer, someone that protects our children, our streets, our agency. There is no respect at all. That a police officer is being assaulted in broad daylight, overpowered. This is not the Liberia that I want for my children. This is not the Liberia that we want for you. This is not the Liberia that we need. Our men and women in uniform are doing all they can to keep our country safe. There's another thing to run away from the police officer, and there's another thing to assault with intent to harm the police officer. This is unacceptable. We have to collectively condemn what is happening here. If you are on social media, you will have watched this video. Just as the video of the lady being tied up in Wapolu was terrible to watch, similarly so you will watch this police officer being attacked with no backup. I don't know whether the police have radios, tasers, or pepper spray. I don't know what the police has to self-defense. Police officers are on the beat. From what I can see here, lonely. I saw no backup. I saw no reinforcement. And a police officer is being beaten in the streets. It is disheartening. Honorable Gregory Kromah, if you are watching.
So, Mr. Gayman?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to make a little clarity on this video. This officer that was allegedly beaten on yesterday by a keke rider, he's not a police, he's not from the Liberia National Police rider, but he's from the Pennsville City Corporation. He's part of the Pennsville City Police.
Police is police.
No, people were speculating that this fellow is a member of the Liberia National Police. So the Liberia National Police came out with an official release saying that he's not a member of the Liberia National Police, but rather a member of the Pennsville City Police.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, to me, it makes no difference. Our men and women in uniform, whether they are city police, whether they are state troopers, whether they are national police, it makes no difference. Hopefully, the National Police Department made it clear that an attack on one police officer is an attack on all police officers, no matter where they are. I didn't see that release, but if the release stresses the fact that he is not part of our detachment, doesn't give anybody the right. And I would like to see that release because I know Gregory Kromah knows better. As a law enforcement officer, he knows. When we are talking about joint security, it covers all police actions, whether it is in the city or on a national level, whether the LDEA in the local department or in the national arena, the armed forces. These are all folks that we consider national security because they take care of our cities, our state, our counties, the local streets. So nobody out there should get the notion that, well, because this person, Gregory Kromah, said they are not part of the national police, so we can beat them, we can assault them. Anyone who assaults a police officer, immigration officer, should not be tolerated. If you had a video play it, let us see. If you have it, it is alleged assault on city police. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the video. We are going to play this video again. We are going to play this video again on the 6 o'clock hour for general discussion. This is not what we want in our country. An unarmed, a lone police officer trying to enforce the rules.
And Mr. Gayman, let's not give this news. This fellow, he has been arrested and then he's currently at the Liberia National Police headquarters now.
Who?
This fellow who did this act.
Okay, he has been arrested.
Yeah, just in 1 or 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
We have seen it.
Excellent. Excellent. Honorable Coleman, wherever you are, thank you very much for being swift. An attack on our law enforcement officers, wherever they may be, is a grave crime. Thank God that it is being caught on television or on video. This is not a Liberia that we want to return to. This is not even what we call jungle justice. This is even worse. Where someone who doesn't like what the police officer says come out and begin to attack and assault the police officer. We all depend on the police. You don't like police until something happens to you, then you pick up the phone and call the police, and you want them to be there right there and then. You want the police when you are in need, but you do not want to follow the rules. This is terrible. It is terrible, and we shouldn't allow this. But let's go to the headline story today. This story is very, very difficult to talk about. This is psychotic. And it is from Seleke City, Nimba County. Police in Seleke Nimba County have arrested and charged a 23-year-old man named Otis Yebo for the brutal rape of an 8-month-old baby, as well as attempted murder. He's being charged with raping an 8-month-old baby. And rightfully so, he's being charged with attempted murder. The suspect is currently being held at the Nyenwolo Central Prison awaiting trial. According to authorities, the horrific assault took place in Garguah Town, District Number 7, located along the Seleke-Tapeta Highway. That is the district of the Honorable Musa Hassan Bility. I am sure he will speak to this. Something has to be done. Yebo is alleged to have subjected the infant to a grotesque attack, which caused severe damage to the victim's private parts. Family sources revealed to Front Page Africa that Otis Yebo has a disturbing history of sexual violence in the community. He is on record for attempting to rape his own mother. He attempted to rape his sisters and other female relatives within the Garguah community in Seleke area there. The gravity of these prior incidents had left the town people to be deeply shaken and fearful. Several residents describe Yebo as a notorious and disrespectful figure who has terrorized the community for years. Multiple individuals connected to the area are reportedly detained on rape charges, signaling a broader issue of sexual violence within the region that remains unresolved. In a similar past tragedy a few years ago, a 1-year-old baby was reportedly raped to death on a farm in Myean town, situated along the Ganta-Saklepe Highway. The victim's mother and other family members were working nearby at the time of the attack. The fight against sexual violence in the county recently saw a magistrate in his early 60s arrested and sentenced to 5 years in prison for rape, illustrating effort by the judicial system to hold perpetrators accountable. Let me read this again. The fight against sexual violence in the county, Nimba, recently saw a magistrate What is going on in Nimba? $20, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 10, not 11, not 20 sexual grotesque violence against babies and women, including the government official or basically a judge or magistrate, 60-year-old. A magistrate charged with rape. I am calling on my PL, Honorable Hassan Belite Musa. This is your district. We acknowledge all the good work that you do around the country. But the CMC's progress is not only tied to physical infrastructure, this is societal. CMC has to develop a policy and a program on education, public awareness, how to protect our babies, our girls, our wives, our sister. It is the responsibility of the leaders to develop a plan of action. After this show, I'm going to be calling the political leader myself, and we're going to have this discussion. This is happening in district number 7. $20 cases of babies and young women being raped in the same district. And when something happens in the county or in the district, the person to whom they run for justice, the magistrate himself was arrested for rape. I will go a little further and call on the legislative caucus, NEMA legislative caucus, develop public awareness, bring in professional help, the police, the gender ministry, social workers, psychiatrists, This is an epidemic. Gender violence is broad, it's all over the country. We know this. But for this to be concentrated in one area where we have 20 cases, including the magistrate, it's time for government officials, leaders, the zoos, the Sandy Society, the Poorer Society, young men, college educated, college students. And we want to say thank you to those who had the courage to come forward. They are 20 so far. That's what we know. There may be more. Many of you are afraid to come forward because of the stigma. Family pressure. Your elders are telling you this is going to bring shame to our family. Don't go to the police. Your society, your fraternal brother will tell you don't go to the police. Your sorority sister will tell you don't go to the police. You are going to bring shame to the family. So for those who went to the police, we say kudos to you and continue the good work. Don't die in silence. You are doing your civic duty. The recent case involving Otejewo once again drew attention to the urgent need for community and government intervention. That's correct. Legal leaders and human rights advocates are calling for increased protection for vulnerable children and tougher penalties for offenders. Are we in such a patriarchal society that women are less of a person? How do we treat our wives in the home? How we treat our wives in the home tells our sons how to treat women. If you are a man who beat his wife and your children are present, they learn from you. They too pass that down to women, their wives, their girlfriends. Local leaders and human rights advocates are calling for increased protection for our vulnerable children. On top of that, they are asking the judicial system to be tough. Not only give tough penalties, but they should be serving term. Police have charged Yebo not only with rape, but also with attempted murder, highlighting the serious nature of the crime. He remains in custody as the investigation continues, and the community awaits justice for innocent victims and their families. This tragic incident underscores the crucial importance of educating the communities about sexual violence, improving law enforcement and the responses, and to provide support. Court records reveal that there are over 20 reported rape cases highlighting the disturbing prevalence of sexual violence in the community. Despite the serious nature and number of incidents, awareness and education about rape and sexual assault remains surprisingly low. People are not reporting their cases. Non-governmental agencies, NGOs that focus on these issues are working tirelessly to raise public consciousness, but their efforts have yet to reach or fully engage the wider population. The lack of awareness is a significant barrier to preventing justice. Many survivors face stigma, misinformation, and inadequate support system, which can deter them from reporting crimes or seeking help. Experts argue that increasing education on consent, legal rights, and available resources is crucial to breaking the cycle of silence, enabling communities to combat sexual violence more effectively. NGOs are calling for stronger collaboration between government bodies, law enforcement, healthcare providers, and community leaders to implement comprehensive awareness and campaigns. These initiatives aim to empower survivors, improve reporting mechanisms, and foster community respect and accountability. Mr. Nagbe, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mr. Gayman, it's good to be with you. Glad to be here. Let me also say hi to Myean. Myean, what's up, my brother? And let me also welcome our audience who are joining us from the Media Land. Thank you for joining us. Please do share the show. Thank you for being with us. I see a good number of them are already typing in their comments. I think it's going to be interesting. David here says he's watching from Colorado. Our buddy here, Seleke Kromah, from Kigali, I believe, Rwanda. Joanne Tillor, so he's watching from Breville. Martin Willie, we know our guy from South Korea, the regular. He's Boakai Shin. Is that a word? I think. I'm sure Martin is going to fire back in a few seconds. But Martin, it's nice of you to join us. But it's good to be here. I know you're in the middle of stuff, so when you're done, I will talk about a few things on my mind.
Let's do it.
Well, first of all, and I know my friend Jim McBurrow and Richard Tyler and Hiola and the rest of them, they will come on here just now and say stuff. But
and the three skinny pigs.
The three, yes, of course. So the three amigos. But let me hail the CMC for the effort that they continue to mount. I saw the political leader and his team's entry into the Konobodi Kingdom. It was pretty impressive. I know my brother Sidiki will continue to remind me that it is not what it looks like. So I get it. But for now, we'll savor the moment and and embrace.
So your event doesn't appear, but when he has it, his is real.
Of course. So we will, we'll ride a wave right now. We got a momentum apparently behind us, so that is very encouraging. So I want to wish them well. I'm looking at the numbers, the recruitment app. This is open to the public. You see the numbers are increasing by leaps and bounds. So we're very excited about what they're doing. So I want to give them all the best. I know they're on the road, is raining cats and dogs over there in Lofa, but I want to wish them all the best. So that's one. Two. I'm sure maybe when the other guys come on, we'll talk about this. The president is getting a little bit he's swinging his sword. He's becoming robust in action. I don't know what's going on, but the assistant minister, the minister of foreign affairs, Krishna, I believe Karishma Pelham Rad, I think that's her name,
Mhm.
is being suspended for gross insubordination. I think she is in charge of coordinating between the government of Liberia and international partners such as, the African Union and the UN. So that is concerning. There's not much information out, but the United Party leaning paper of Daily Observer is reporting that they have credible information that this lady has been suspended. So hopefully they will tell us why, because these are they work for the government of Liberia. I understand the president appoints them, but they're serving us, so they need to let us know what's going on there. Also, at the finance ministry, isn't the director there, Mr. CMA Cole, I believe that's his name.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you made that reference to that letter, but he
Oh,
wrote the minister quitting over what he called the delay in the civil servants' pay, but
yeah.
he's referencing the minister of finance as Susupa. I thought that was pretty concerning. And he's saying if you cannot take us to pre-harmonization level, at least pay us, what we work for. I'm just bringing this in because yesterday we were here. We spent quite a bit of time
Mhm.
discussing the performance of the finance minister. There are really serious concerns that are emerging on his fitness to rise up to this task. And so looks like the shoes are beginning to fall, of the from under the stool. So this is concerning. I hope this gentleman will make time one of these days to come out here and talk to us and talk to the Liberian people on what he has observed at the finance ministry that has led to his resignation. So finally, until Sylvester and Sylvester, he doesn't let me to talk. The Eagles, he didn't talk about us. We had a very difficult game to watch last night. We have very serious concerns going in. This is the game that we believe should have been a giving. Were we a better team? I still think so, but we made a lot of costly mistakes, a lot of penalties. I mean, you're talking about on the very first snap. One of our best tackles got thrown out of the game for unruly behavior, spitting at the quarterback of another team. You can't do that. You can talk all this smack and all of that. You gotta really be. So we hope the coach is gonna take his boys into the back room and talk to them and get them to settle down. Too many penalties last night. We can't have that. We gotta go back to the Super Bowl back to back. Now you can go ahead and talk about your Dolphins. So
Well, you know what sets the great teams apart from everybody else is no matter what, they find a way to win.
yeah,
So you got to give it to the champions. You have to give it to the Eagles. They fall back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They find a way to win, even on your worst days. So you can't take anything away from them. Remember now, you are up there, so everybody is punching up. The target is on your back. So
the target is on the back.
the worst team in the league is going to play their best when they play you. So you in for a long. you you wait for Cleveland Brown to come to town with a 0-10 record, and they will play like you are their Super Bowl partner.
And my Commanders fan here is trying to give us the props, actual factual, which I appreciate. You're right. We did play, but relative to what we thought the team should have done, that's what we're talking about. Relativity. But yeah, a win is a win. When you get a W, you get a W, and you walk away. Short memory, forget about the game and look on to the next game. You understand me? So I get that. But we just want to make sure that they tighten things up. They look pretty concerning last night. Let me leave it that way.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend you're going to find my Miami Dolphins is going to come to town, and we are going to show you what football is all about. The Dolphins. If you see this color on the weekend, you're going to find out who the pretty boys are. We're coming to
Yeah.
town. and we will show you what made us who we are.
You got good potential. A Tua can stay healthy. You know, you got great potential.
We gotta protect his coconut.
Yeah, that's right.
Every time you touch him, you look at him, just look at him hard. He's not feeling funny.
Right.
But Honorable, we got some serious issue to discuss for those of us who are feminists, who are protective for women. What is trending in Liberia is something that is concerning, and I'm going to call the political leader because this is happening in district number 7, Seleke Pewee, and that's his district. A young man, 23, raped an 8-month-old baby almost to death. And this is case number 20 in the district, including the magistrate himself, 60-year-old man. The magistrate was arrested for rape. This is serious. So I am appealing to the political leader himself. We have, the political organization has to come up with something. We are appealing to the NIMA Legislative Caucus, whether it is awareness, whatever it is, we shouldn't drop this story. We shouldn't drop this story. Look at this young man, 23-year-old or 23-year-old man. Police in Seleke Kromah, Nagbe County have arrested and charged 23-year-old Otis Yebo for the brutal rape of an 8-month-old baby. He was also charged with attempted murder. The suspect is currently being held at the Sanquete Central Prison awaiting trial. According to the authority, the horrific assault took place in Garguah Town, District number 7, located along the Seleke Kromah Highway. Yebo is alleged to have subjected the infant to a grotesque attack which caused severe damage to the baby's private parts. Family sources revealed to Front Page Africa that Otis Yebo has a disturbing history of sexual violence in the community. The victim's mother and other family members were working nearby at the time of the attack. The fight against sexual violence in the county recently saw a magistrate in his early 60s arrested and sentenced to 5 years in prison for rape. The magistrate. The recent case involving Otis have once again drawn attention to the urgent need for community and government intervention. Local leaders and human rights advocates are calling for increased protection for vulnerable children and tougher penalties for offenders. This is so hard to read that just a few days ago, we were talking about another attack on a female in Wapulu. And then here we are. Women are under attack in the country. It says court records in NIMA review that there are over 20 reported rape cases highlighting a disturbing prevalence of sexual violence in the community. This doesn't include those who didn't come forward because of stigma and all that other stuff. But Mr. Nagbe, what kind of country, what is it? How can, Are these people human beings? With all these young women and single women all over the place, baby, 8-month-old baby, what is this?
I didn't even read a story. I mean, that's how disturbed I was. I saw that, you forwarded it before you and I talked, and I honestly didn't. I just saw the heading, no, I mean, it's really it's very concerning. Um, you want to venture to say, maybe the individual involved may be suffering some kind of some kind of mental breakdown, some kind of mental illness. But then you're talking about the frequency with which this is occurring, involving several different people, including the magistrate himself. I agree with you. I think this is very concerning. Something needs to be done, you know, uh, to arrest the situation. Yeah, the political leader, but the gender ministry, I believe, I think they have some representation, or they do have a part to play in this.
Of
I
course,
think,
of course.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I don't know if this is how this is all around the country, but 20 cases in the one district. That's I mean, that's one case too many. Now to talk about 20, and involving the magistrate. I mean, these are the people who are supposed to uphold the law. So my heart goes out to this baby, and her family. I really hope that she's getting all the medical help that she needs, because this child could be traumatized and probably scarred for life. So
If she survives.
if she survives, yeah. So that's very disturbing and very disgusting. Uh, the gentleman involved, I think he needs help. I think he needs some kind of help. Um, it's very difficult to talk about, and it's really, 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 really disturbing. And again, my heart goes out to the family. I hope they get all the help they need, to hopefully, like you said, hopefully this baby survives, and they get the help to make her whole and make the family whole as well.
Talking about that, there's another one. I read it briefly. A woman and her husband arrested for allegedly cutting the finger of a child.
Right.
I mean, on another baby girl.
Yeah.
The Liberian National Police had arrested a woman identified as Eve Wama and her husband after a disturbing incident in the New Georgia Gulf Community District 13, in which a little girl's finger was allegedly cut off as punishment for an accident during playtime. Usually either she wet herself or whatever. And you cutting somebody's head, cutting their face. Mr. Nagbe, our nation is traumatized.
Yeah. Those are definitely signs of a traumatized population. I mean, the various ways and manner in which they're expressing their frustration, they're very concerning. I read part of that story too. Then the allegation is that this child was taking care of their child or something like that, but that's another person's child. If you're getting upset because you believe your child wasn't cared for properly, but you're also subjecting another person's child, to a treatment that they themselves will find unacceptable. I have to agree with you. I think these are indications of major societal problems that are expressing themselves, in these individuals. The minority Liberia is really is going through a very trying time. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. But clearly there are signs of a very frustrated and traumatized people acting out and expressing their frustration in ways and forms that they know best, which I think the mainstream general population find unacceptable. You know, I think the gender ministry has a lot of work, to do. They have the work cut out for them. I don't know exactly what they do. I haven't paid much attention to what they do, but I presume, just like you and I are saying here, all of these fall within the purview, So we hope that they will do something to, sensitize our people, there are different ways you can express, your disappointment and frustration, uh, than taking it out on, children, other people, especially children, you know.
Myean, you brought this to our attention why it was happening, and today it's on the front pages of the newspapers. This is disturbing. I know you called yesterday. 2 days ago, we were discussing this, but we didn't have it in writing. But now we have it. What is going on the ground?
On this issue for Nima, are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I said on the issue for Nima that went to do the investigation on.
No, you talking about this girl finger being cut, I think a couple of days ago. Somebody from here brought it up on the show, but we didn't have
Yeah,
it.
I think it was something we put that case. I
Okay.
haven't yet been following it closely.
Okay, when he comes in, we'll bring it up. Now let's talk about the one in District 7. Did you hear anything about it? This young man raping this woman? Raping the baby?
Yes, a few days ago, just say yesterday was in Nima. We heard about that case, but due to our schedule coming back to Monrovia, we never had the time to do a follow up on that case. But this fellow, we have heard that this fellow is not his first time, it's not his second time. Usually, the people who are in the rural part of the country, most especially the young girls, the women, they have some very challenging time because people say the men use that opportunity on them because they will just go on the farm. After the farm, they come home, and then the women don't have access to go anywhere, don't have access to do anything. Who they will allow to be able to go lodge complaint or to say something. So whatever the man does to them, it will just remain there. So they just like that's their usual habit. And then if they cannot see someone who they are peers around. They just find something else just to do. But sometimes people say they usually do it because of some traditional purposes. But I don't believe that. Some people just do it intentionally because you cannot look at that child and then just want to do something to her where you know it will not be able to satisfy you or to do something to you. You just want to do it just because you see her, you see the opportunity is there and you just want to have some fun time with that's why. But I don't think it's necessary. And I think we as a country, most especially as a people, we need to stand together because at time within a month you find out there are so many high cases in terms of rape. So if Liberians cannot stand together to fight against rape, that's the same thing we are seeing about drugs in Liberia. Because years back, people were fighting against rape. It was a huge number of rape cases within Liberia a few years back. And then Liberians stand together in collaboration with the Ministry of Justice and that of the Ministry of Gender. They were able to shut down these entire rape cases. And then we are here again, once again, hearing about so many rape cases. So I don't think it's necessary. We as Liberians need to be able to come together to see how best we can put an end to rape cases in Liberia.
Hmm. Victor, it says that the victim, a 7-year-old Georgina, her reportedly been playing with the suspect's toddler when the baby accidentally fell to the ground. Eyewitnesses said the suspect, enraged by the incident, seized the child and used a wooden bench to crush her finger, causing that to actually serve her to amputate. Can you imagine? Following the attack, community members raised alarm, prompting the intervention of Liberia National Police. The suspect and her husband were swiftly taken into custody and transferred to Zone 4 Police Department. The Liberia National Police confirmed ongoing investigation. Georgina, who was recently brought from compound number 3, Grand Bassa County, to live with her aunt, is now receiving medical treatment at a local health facility in district number 13. This is a horrifying case that underscores the urgent need for justice and transparency, said a local community leader. We call on the police to act decisively and ensure that those responsible are held accountable. In recent times, child rights advocates have warned vulnerable children living with relatives in urban communities. Many families, they argue, send children from the rural towns and counties to Monrovia in hope of better opportunities, only for the children to end up facing neglect or abuse. Some Liberians are calling on the ministerial agenda to swiftly intervene. In her message, Gateway Princess Kennedy also said that nobody is above the law. The Child Welfare Department of the Gender for Women and Children got involved and took baby Georgina. The heartless woman was taken to jail. Israel Mahpati Pele added that the law is the law. The people of New Georgia Gulf community fight for justice for little Georgina. And she was given a justice that we all worked so hard for in the ring. Little Georgian has been taken to the Child Welfare Department of the Ministry of Gender for Women and Children. And the child abuser Eve was taken to jail. Can you imagine somebody named Eve? Somebody whose name is Eve, that's supposed to be the mother of the land, is cutting somebody's finger because the caretaker of her child, let the child to fall on the playground.
Yeah, the Eve gender is always into all kinds of.
The last time they were giving people apple and all that other stuff, now here they are cutting
Exactly.
people's finger.
Exactly. And I'm not making light of what is happening here, but it just amused me a little bit to think that this is another Eve we're discussing here. But this is we talked about this I think last week or so. Is a societal. This is a failure of society. You have a population where the divide between the haves and the have-nots is so wide. People have the children in the interior and they look around and they see no possibility of any life better than the life they have lived. They will like to give the children up, give them off to families, sometimes distant relatives, sometimes not even related, and take a chance on these people that they will give their children a life better than their life, the life they're leading. And this is what is happening. This is human trafficking. This will bring these people's children, from the interior to Monrovia or to town, and they begin, they subjugate them to levels unimaginable, you know. And so in this case, they say she's an aunt of this girl, but you know the treat from what is being described here, I don't know. It just doesn't, it doesn't make sense. But this is Liberia. This has been happening in from time without number before you and I were born. This is what our people do. These people, they go to the interior, they go to visit, and these people see them looking so nice and shining. They don't know what to go to in Monrovia, and they take their children and take a chance on them. Give them their children, say, please take my child so they can go to school. and they bring these people's children to Monrovia and just kind of enslave them, and subject them to all kinds of inhumane, treatment and conditions. So I understand how child may have fallen. It happens. I don't believe this Georgiana girl intended to you know let this child fall. I'm sure it may have been an accident. And you go and punish her to the point where you crush her finger. I mean, she's a child too. You know, she's a child. She deserves protection. She's a kid.
Seven
You know,
years old.
exactly, 7 years old. I mean, she's not even fit to take care of another child. That's abuse. And so again, I believe this falls in the purview of the gender ministry again. I'm not intentionally putting so much on their plate, but these are all matters that fall within the purview. And I don't know what has been done. I understand Eve is being held or so. Hopefully, she gets justice, Georgiana, and hope that Eve gets what she deserves. I hope this girl's finger, will be is not beyond repair. Hopefully, she can be treated and probably sent back to her parents or so, or get some kind of help from somebody else. But I don't think she deserves to go back to that family again.
But there's no family there. Both of them are in jail.
Yeah.
So this is what uh, we are talking about. Myean, you wrote several headlines. Go through your headlines and let's go from there. I know we got several here outside the one that we're reading. You want to go through it? You want to? I know we just went through the one from the Gulf, Virginia Gulf community, New Georgia Gulf community. You want to talk about the speaker? What the speaker Coon pledge? What were he pledges?
Okay, so today the speaker met with the president of the University of Liberia, where you already read it, Dr. Lady Mapaya, with some students from the Student Unification Party on today at the speaker office. So they had a successful discussion on some other issues that are affecting the university, and also on this rigmarole between the Student Unification Party and that of the resignation of Dada Mopaya, where we saw police were on the campus of the University of Liberia, and then they had a heated tension there. Let me say this week, brother, we stay on. This week, during the week, we saw a serious tension from the University of Liberia main campus. So with that, the speaker had a meeting with them. Some other representatives were also there, and that meeting was successful. And it was something like people were asking, why is it all about this meeting? Because the University of Liberia right now is closed for some other reason, due to some faculties issues and other issues that are affecting the campuses of the University of Liberia. So the meeting, they will come out with the official statement from the University of Liberia. But it's just the tip that we got from that meeting, and they handle some issues between the president of the Student Unification Party, because the students were demanding that the president resign. So they handle that issue on today. So we also get information from Grand County that the FDA in Grenada, the FDA detachment in Grenada County arrest 48 Burkinabes national in that part of Liberia. So one thing that caught my attention on this story is that we are seeing so many development going on in Burkina Faso, and then we are still seeing them. coming into various countries, most especially in Liberia. Over the past few months, I think the Liberian government accepted a few of them to be within the country, and then they accepted them to be able to nationalize within our country. But we are still seeing them leaving their country after we are seeing so many footage and videos on social media about the kind of development that is going on within our country. But we still see them passing through the various borders, various butchers, trying to make their way through our country. But you can make a take on it, Mr. Gayman. I don't know for what reason, but I see it be like something else is going on.
Okay, along that line, the Liberian investigator says this. The House of Representatives of Republic of Liberia summons officials over alleged deforestation, land rights violation in Grand Jere. So the House of Representatives has summoned several top government officials to testify over allegations of illegal deforestation and land right violation in Bazon District, Grand Jere County. The move spearheaded by Representative Jacob Chadikba. Debbie, the second of Grand Jere District number 3, followed reports of large-scale forest clearing and land appropriation in Bo Chiefdom. Lawmakers said the action may contravene Liberia's 2018 Land Rights Act. Officials for the Forestry Department Authority, the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Liberia Authority, and the Environmental Protection Agency are among those expected to appear. They be accused local authorities, including the Statutory Development Superintendent and the Magistrate of Cheyi Town, of coordinating widespread deforestation without proper documentation or approval from the affected community. The watchdog group raises red flag. Liberia Forest Media Watch, an independent media group, have played a key role in bringing the issue to national attention. Mr. Nagbe, we had a case here where the gentleman who is the director of the forestry department was accused. In fact, this thing came out during his confirmation hearing, that during the child sailor time, he operated one of the largest timber companies in the country. And he was so bad at what he did that the people were protesting his nomination, and they rammed it through. And now this is what we are seeing. They say he's back at his old tricks. They are cutting the trees, mahogany, and they are shipping it out of the country without going through the proper procedure.
Yeah, I remember this person's appointment. I remember vaguely. Before I go ahead, let me acknowledge while we were talking about the incidents of sexual misconduct.
Mr. Gayman, please check your inbox.
I was getting a number of messages, including one from our friend here, Jerome, Mr. Bash Goa. You know, Bash is our friend. This is Grace's husband. He's saying here, he thinks the government needs to establish a sex offender registry. Do we have that in Liberia? I know it's a big thing over here, where where these
Mr. Guha, these guys, they don't even know how many people on the payroll to call them ghosts. Self-register. It is a great idea, Mr. Guha, and I think this is something that we need we can pass these things through our own. Now that our PL is the arrowhead of what we're doing, these are public policy that we need to pass through him to make sure. And it's a great question when we speak to the PL. We'll bring this up and make sure, because this is concentrated in his district.
Absolutely.
We got breaking news. We got breaking news here. An audio just shared with this newspaper, with our newsroom. Review a verbal clash between UL Vice President Fofana and Dr. Lester Tennant, a lecturer of mathematics, Mr. Steve, and a lecturer of mathematics, Mr. Stevie Myers. Speaking to the paper, Myean accused Dr. Tenney of threatening him to review him and this audio and made allegation of corruption. And he told him, "Do you know who I am?" We're back to that again. He said, you are just a TA. And people have been complaining you to me. And the gentleman said, "Why would you refer to me as a TA?" He sees that as an attempt to intimidate him. And then he told him, "You're going to see, you will find out if you get a paycheck next month. That will show you the kind of power that I have." This is Dr. Tenney telling this young man that I'm going to see to it that you don't get paid next week. Let's play the tape. Let's see what it says here.
Steven?
Yeah, this is Steven.
Steven, this is Dr. Tenney.
Dr. Lester Tenney?
Yes.
Yeah, how are you, sir?
I'm not fine with you and Peter's attitude. Everybody is bringing your complaints. Everybody.
Who did everybody bring out a complaint? The University of Liberia.
Everybody in the math department.
The University of Liberia, are they concerned about investigating matters of corruption? So if everybody bring out a complaint from the math department, what the next thing? You set up investigation, investigate the corrupt practices.
First of all, Steven, first of all, you are just a TA.
Don't tell me wait, when you say I'm just a TA, don't use those words on me, that Lester Tenney. You interfere with the latest scholarship. You went and made Mr. Richard Gaffan to put George Gala on the latest scholarship with education.
Also, you won't argue with me when I call you to talk to you.
Are you an authoritarian? You tell me I'm just a TA. What power you have to take me to interfere with my employment?
I will tell you which power I have.
Use the power.
Baba.
Yeah, Baba for
if
you.
If you pay next year, the next month, then you know me.
If you are on record, let me just let you know.
Mr. Nagbe, a few days ago, we had the same thing with Mr. Josiah Joka telling another person, "You can't argue with me, I'm a PhD holder." Even though he was categorically wrong, his numbers were wrong, his figures were wrong, everything that he reported were wrong.
But he's a PhD holder now, so you're not
he's
so arguing.
You're trying to intimidate a young man who was in the right. This man said, "Listen, your report is wrong. Your figures are off. Go ahead and recalibrate, go and redo it." And he telling the guy, "You can't talk to me. I'm a PhD holder." The man said, "What that has to do with your numbers? Your numbers just don't add up. The government does not pay the autonomous agencies. They operate their own payrolls. So you cannot say the government pays for these people and blah, blah, blah." Then he brought Amos Tuer on. And Amos Tuer thought he didn't understand what was going on. He says, "Anybody who tells you that the government of Liberia pays our payroll is a liar, because I do my own payroll here separate." People say, "Oh, Lord."
Isn't that what we're just talking about?
Josiah Joka just said he takes care of all your payroll, 105 payroll entities, and you came here to help him out, and you didn't understand the question, and you drowned him. So this is where we are. Here is Dr. Tenney, who was very vocal during the past administration for being boisterous, corrupt, nepotism, and all of those things. Here he is telling somebody, "You can't talk to him, you are just a TA. And you want to know how powerful I am? See if you get paid next month." What is wrong with us, Mr. Nagbe? What is going on in this country?
Yeah, I think I mean, I don't know Dr. Tenney personally, Lester, but I've watched him and briefly interacted with him from a distance. He's initially, when he came to light, I think he seemed to be, an advocate, a crusader, for what is right. I mean, we know how much, he criticized the former president, George Weah, and his team, for, and speaking out for what was being done wrong to people in that government. He eventually quit, I think, locale, and he's been releasing these very blistering clips, you know, on the CDC and all of that. I think at some point calling for President Weah to be expelled from the CDC after his concession. But basically, he seemed to be being a crusader who was on the crusade, to reclaim, the moral high ground. And this is, he came on the show here again not too long ago, I believe it was. And I forgot what we were discussing, but he seemed to contradict himself.
Yeah, we're discussing about his credential.
Yes, exactly. And so it looks like again the shoe is dropping, off his feet little by little. This clip, it doesn't really present him in a very good light. It sounds like someone who is flexing his muscle, intimidating, a junior staffer. You're just a TA. You know what power I have. And all of that. I'm a little bit concerned with where Dr. Tini is going. He seems to be rapidly plunging into the darkness that he has been criticizing over the past couple of years. I don't know this gentleman. I think he was named Steven or something. He called him. Yeah. So it is concerning. I hope Dr. Tini will come out to clear this. Clarify what is going on here. But that doesn't look. It doesn't sound good on that tape.
Well, Dr. Tierney would not, I don't think he would want to come back on here because you and I were here and we're squeezing on the University of Liverpool where he said he got a PhD.
Yeah.
Only to find out that he said he doesn't have an undergraduate degree.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have an undergraduate degree, how is it possible for you to be accepted into a PhD program? He said somebody attested because the day that he said he graduated, he first lied because the University of Liberia was closed and he was at a refugee camp.
Right.
Then he said, based on his own official record, somebody attested that he had the equivalence, and it was based on that attestation that he was accepted into the graduate program and all that stuff. So these are the four with a funny degree. Like most of us will get our degree online, or then you want to take that degree now and impugn other people's reputation or suppress them like he's doing. The young man is talking about scholarship that came through the process. And the process was that these scholarships for mathematicians. Then you brought somebody from the Department of Education and put them on the scholarship, took a legitimate container's name and put somebody there in education when they were specifically mathematician's position. And they took him to task on it, and you tell them, man, you are just a TA. As though Monday we were talking about Labor Day here, Mr. Nagbe.
Right.
No matter what part of the totem pole you are on, whether you are a TA, whether you are an assistant professor, whether you are an associate professor or a full professor, everybody counts because the system works from the janitor all the way up to the president. So everybody has their part to play. We discussed that on Monday.
Yeah. I hope Dr. Tini will come on here if he's listening. Dr. Tini, please do call in. I like the comment from your friend Joe here, Jerome Maju. He says, I don't know if Mike can highlight it. He's in the back. He said, I don't care about Tini, but the teaching assistant was also very coarse and overly aggressive. You also do not recall someone without their knowledge. They were both in the wrong. Was it sufficient that he told Lester he was being recorded after toward the end of the conversation, or should he have told him earlier that he was being recorded? Should that matter? That Lester was coming out the way he did. Also, I mean, the TA was aggressive. I mean, I think he's basically challenging Miss Dr. Tini to the action that you described just now, that he took a scholarship intended for one department and brought in other people from other. Although it's not clear whether this person that he brought from education was not a math teacher. If it was a math scholarship, I think it shouldn't matter, as long as this is somebody who is a math, math student or lecturer or so. I think they should be able to benefit from that scholarship. So I think Lester should. I hope you will find time to come on here and clarify this. I have to also say I got to push back on you, Jerome. The online options are becoming the go-to option now for people who don't have the time to go the traditional method of schooling. The method has been really, really streamlined.
Oh, but
And
I'm taking classes online. What I'm saying is
yeah,
people who enter program, if we are going to, like you always say, right? If you are coming here with this equity thing, your hands should be very clean. If
right.
you are questioning other people's credentials only to
Well,
find out that you got into a program because people in the refugee get attested, not because you took the exam or you applied, but they
right.
attested that you have the equivalence. That is, I mean, that is suspicious. How can you have people? It's like, okay, we got a couple of powerful folks, so we just write a letter attesting that I have, I have the equivalence.
Yeah, I mean, all my missions that I've done throughout, you can have recommendations, but those people those are not attestation. They just basically it's part of the requirement, part of the paperwork you submit. They don't go on those recommendations alone as the basis for admitting you. It forms is a part of the process. But you have to submit your credentials. They have to be vetted. That is really different. So I understand. I'm with you on that. To say somebody and I were on the refugee camp together, so they know that I went to this school here. No, that's not it. You actually have to have the credentials to establish that you did do these courses, and then you have the recommendations of other people to back you up on other things. Your dependability, your those kinds of things, punctuality, that kind of thing. People who know your character, but yeah, that doesn't suffice as reason for admission into any program.
Yeah, well, Joe, I understand where you're coming from. We go back to the same thing we've been talking about. If you come with the equity thing, your hands should be as clean. This is a man who have been going around showing these videos of Mobile Molu castigating the presidency, the liquor talk. You know the liquor talk thing? He have played that video 1,000 times, telling the folks that, listen, the president has, according to Molu, the president has a wife in Ghana named Jackie Appiah, and he built $1 million home for her, and he building this, he doing that, and he will play this one liquor talk video. Who recorded Mobile Molu? Did they tell Mobile Molu we are recording? Those are all illegal recording that he
Yes.
all did, and he running around with somebody that did the same thing to him.
And you know what, Jerome? I think I read it somewhere, and I think Joe can come up here and clarify this. But I think when you are in a public space, there is a certain assumption of there is certain assumption made of your privacy. I think the restrictions that apply to private persons in terms of privacy, I think they kind of relax. They kind of lax when it comes to people operating in a public space, right? Once you're in a public space, I think you should expect that the regular rules that apply to regular private persons, I mean, I apply to you. I think I've seen this happen several times where people get recorded in public spaces. So I don't know whether that restriction does apply in this instance. Again, Joe, if you're listening, you can.
Yeah. I'm going to call Councilor Freeman here.
Right.
Wonder Freeman. Hopefully, he has time to clarify. But the reason I'm saying this is because all the video of President Weah, Mobile Molu, Jefferson Koji, all those things that
Yeah.
Lester been peeling around, those were all illegal. You know, they all recorded them, and he's going around and saying those things.
That's
But
right.
that is the Liberia that we have. For some reason, you think that at some point somebody will. Mr. Nagbe, what is it that when you get down on the ground and you get a look? Because the last time he was here, he was bragging that the entire database of the Universal Library were at his house.
Yeah, I think he was on a consultancy or something.
Yes.
I remember, yeah, and he was supposed to tell us what he was doing at the end of that consultancy. I think some kind of improvement he was making to the database because he was claiming that there were a lot of people who were serving positions that they didn't qualify for.
And there were ghost names too, he says.
Yes, I think that was the claim he was making at the time.
So he had a database of the university, not on campus, but at his house.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you just joining us, we are talking about issues affecting Liberia. Now, on the lighter side, FIFA top president, former president, we are to lead the global anti-racism players panel. And that is good news for Liberia. It says here, former Liberian president and Ballon d'Or winner George Weah has been appointed by FIFA to chair a new global panel of ex-footballers that will advise on anti-racism strategies across sport. The 16-member players voice panel features big names, including Didier Drogba, Emmanuel Adebayo, Brianna Corey, the U.S. goalkeeper who helped win the 1999 Women's World Cup. FIFA described the body as both a watchdog and a think tank, tasked with guiding, initiating, monitoring progress, and promoting education at all levels of the game. This is big stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, quickly, Joe is coming back here. He said in a civil society, you tell an individual before you begin recording the recording process. So I don't know, but the other part Joe is putting here, Joe is trying to pick a fight. I'm not gonna read that part.
No, but Joe, that a Tierney gonna come after you. The Tierney doesn't even speak like someone with a bachelor's degree.
Joe is trying to put in situation we can handle with lesser
Yeah, that's right.
but look, first of all, I don't know what this committee as FIFA expects. The FIFA is a racist organization. This is one of the problems they have with Musa Bility, for which they slapped him with an illegal fine and illegal ban and all of that, and they went into the matter and they found out that they wronged the man and all of that. But as to President Weah, I mean, you say whatever you may against the president. I think he's a very peaceful man. I don't know him personally, so but again, I remind us not to take lightly this president's concession in this going elections with just 17 or so 18,000 votes between he and the current president. Even while the counting was still ongoing, I mean, I believe there were attempts to challenge the result from places like Grand Cru, his home county, and Nimba, and there were reasonable, suspicion of foul play in some other places. But and he said, it's all right. He pulled back his attack dogs and everybody and said, you know what, President Barker is the president. He has been elected, and conceded and saved the country a whole lot of wahala. I'll forever respect him for that. I will give him credit for that. The recent incident again, the eviction of the CDC from their headquarters. I mean, he could have made a spectacle out of this thing, put people out in the streets. But, he called his people and told them to calm down, and they will find a way, even though after a day or two, they made known their theory of what actually happened for them to be evicted the way they did. So yeah, I think he's a man of peace, and I think he deserves to be given such recognition. And I think he really was looking forward to this thing because I believe he's an admirer of Goodluck Jonathan, the former president of Nigeria, who himself has been involved in this kind of matters, international diplomacy. So yeah, congratulations to President Weah for being given that recognition. I am sure he will represent Liberia well on that committee, but I just fail to appreciate what this committee is supposed to do. If FIFA really wants a committee that would, how about they make the first black president president of FIFA? How about they do that? You know?
That's you gotta give them credit. They are doing the best. At least they say with President we are at the helm. FIFA hopes the panel will amplify player voices and inject fresh urgency into the sport fight against racism and discrimination against us. So they got a right pattern. They got Juan Pablo Sorin from Argentina, Maka Salvatore from France, Brianna Scurry, United States, Lotta Schilling, Sweden, Aya Myanmar, Japan, Blaise Motadi, France. They got a whole group of folks here that and I like the way they put this together. They are from Togo, Nigeria, Colombia, Ivory Coast, Senegal, China, France, Japan, Sweden, United States, and Argentina. So that group is being led by our Liberian former president Weah to lead us. The FIFA have already, my friend, they have already submitted themselves to the criticism that this organization is racist. The organization discriminates against people. And when you look at most of the stadiums, even as we speak, in Europe, they are still throwing bananas on the field. They are still calling names in 2025. So FIFA has to do something, and I'm glad they were able to put a great group together.
Right.
They said, and I like what they said. They said to address the sense of urgency. I like that word, that these guys did it, drug by the whole group 9 yard, including several women, because the discrimination is not only against black folks, it's also against women. So I'm glad that they were able to have 1/3 of that delegation as women. Okay, good news. Government begin disbursement of funds to 500 farmers on a PSIP. This is great news for our folks. If it is true, the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Agriculture, has begun to disburse some funds to 500 farmers across 8 counties on a public sector investment project, PSIP, a budget funding initiative aimed at boosting rice production and reducing import. For fiscal year 2025, the agriculture component of PSIP has been allocated $4 million US to support the cultivation of rice, cassava, maize, orange, avocado, and coconut. Under the rice program, farmers are being supported to cultivate 1,000. Each farmer will receive 1,000 hectares of lowland rice in Bung, Grand Bassa, Cape Mount, Lofa, Monserrato, and Nima counties. Each farmer will receive $1,000 per hectare. That's not bad.
No, that doesn't sound bad at all. But
yeah, with 60% disbursed as direct cash support for land clearing, nursery development, and layout, while 40% will be allocated toward weeding and harvesting. We got to give the government credit. This one is awesome. This is $4 million. Now, Mr. Nagbe, hopefully we have a team of experts that will be able to help these folks to actually do the land selection, cultivating, soil testing, fertilizer, you name the whole 9 yards. But this is a great start. $1,000 per person. That's not bad, Mr. Nagbe.
Not bad at all. Not bad. And I don't want to be a pessimist. But not too long ago we were talking about an order of the same ministry with over $5 million made available to them, Jerome. And I think I think over 80% or something, a good bit of the farms that they claim to have supported.
130, 81 couldn't be found.
Exactly. So I mean, this is laudable if it is driven to its logical conclusion. But there are concerns about their conduct. So hopefully this time the real people for whom this is intended will actually be the beneficiaries. It shouldn't be. I think in some instances it had third party, between the ministry and the farmer. There was another intermediary. But by the time you go through all those stages, every stage, some of the little something drops. Every stage, some of the. So but I think they're making some effort, and I think we should laud them for that. But I hope, the people, the real people, will actually, the benefit will reach the real people this time. Because that number you just said, yeah, we talked about this on a number of occasions. The I don't know whether an execution problem that they have, or there really is, corrupt, practice going on. But the report was in the press that most of the people never got the money, even though they claim to have disbursed this money to them. Some of the instances, I mean, the receipts that they have were almost 500 times inflated than the actual price of what the people were, getting from other places. It didn't look good. The report didn't look good. So let's see what happens this time.
And I mean, we got to give them kudos, but $1,000, to be frank with you, unless the government will do other things that we call in kind, like providing the tractors and the machines to do the actual work. But $1,000 cannot hire anybody. When you talk about a hectare, right, $1,000, that's a lot of land. Yeah. If they are clearing it with hand, I mean, $1,000 per basically an acre or so wouldn't do it, but it's a start. And hopefully, when the GAC comes, all of these folks who are showing up here, hopefully they have a land that can be counted. Because the last time when the GAC showed up, where are the land? Who are these people? There were no land to do. But it's a great start. $4 million. Somebody is benefiting $1,000 per hectare. That's great for the government, and we got to give the government kudos. Okay, 647. Mr. Torgbean, can you play that tape again from the police? Let's look at this, because these were the two stories that, to me, the abuse of the children and then the abuse of our law enforcement officers. It shouldn't happen. Honorable Gregory Coleman, wherever you are, we know this is not the national police, but you guys have to coordinate. These people have to carry something to defend themselves. Whether it is a taser or tear gas or pepper spray, there is no way that a police officer should be beaten this way in public. You got to take cue, son? Okay, Mr. Nagbe, let's watch this. It's hard to watch, but we got to watch it. Okay, Myean, that's enough. Myean, that's enough. Victor, this is, I don't know what to say. I said it earlier. I don't know. I mean, look, from a man raping a baby to magistrate rating with me, cutting baby finger, tying women in Bapolu and beating them. I mean, what is it a complete breakdown of society here?
The sum total of lawlessness, Jerome. We have a lawless country. I mean, look, law enforcement. It doesn't matter whether I know. I heard my young brother here making a distinction, and I don't think he meant any harm. But I can tell you this: law enforcement, whether it is we call it mosquito police, or once you represent the arm of the law, you have to be accorded all respect, because when we allow this to happen, law and order breaks down. And when law and order breaks down, you have chaos, you have jungle justice. Do I approve of the policemen trying to arrest this man to the point where the keke fell down? No, I don't. But does that really warrant this gentleman? I mean, beating the man like the way he was, and people standing around. I think I heard people saying, "Believe,
Yeah,
believe."
that most of those guys that were standing around were all either
Exactly.
keke and motorbike riders,
Yeah.
and they tell him
That
to behave himself.
that is unacceptable. It is entirely unacceptable. Nowhere that it will be tolerated. And we have to give our law enforcement officers the respect they deserve. What happened over there should not happen anywhere. And passers by, they there and urging him on to go ahead and beat up this officer. First of all, why is he even traveling alone? Usually you have, they always at least another officer. You need reinforcement. That's why usually they advise them, I'm sure, during the training, that you don't go alone like that. Or is it because they don't have enough officers? Why was he by himself? He needed help. He couldn't call for backup. Didn't he have a radio? I mean, it's a complete breakdown of law and order, lawlessness. It's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to put your hands on a police officer like that. Even as much as we disagree with them, you got to respect the law. You got to respect the club, the uniform. But I mean, I totally disapprove of that gentleman's attitude. I hope, something will be made to make him understand that you can do that. And the message has to be, an example has to be made. You can't just do that. You can't attack law enforcement like that. It's wrong. I'll pass it on to you. And Robert, welcome, my brother.
Yeah,
Good to see you.
Robert, welcome to the show. Hopefully, hopefully you were not over there punching that police officer, and nobody was looking because when you fell to the ground, there were a lot of people punching you underneath. It's terrible.
If man Amy waiting for him with his lunch, him.
Welcome, young man. Welcome.
Thank you. But yeah, I think that that video has been circulating on social media. Yeah, that's despicable. Yeah, it's wrong. I mean, I don't know the genesis of what happened, the details. The police have not put out any major information. I mean, I haven't seen anything. If they have, I think to Mr. Namwi's point, if we had a functioning society, in from all sector, by now you will see the police or spokesperson having a press conference about what happened, because the last I checked, I don't think they've identified the young man. There were people, they've been sharing the video, uh, with some hope that someone recognizes the keke. But that's not a good. How many of those keke are roaming around the country? You know, I don't think the police officer got an identification of the individual. You know, so there's a lot of issue. There's a lot of systemic issue that's wrong. But obviously, what we saw is wrong. That's someone's father. That's someone's husband, brother, son, uncle. No one deserves to be abused like that. But this is the society we find ourselves. Every time we talk about these issues, we talk about it from the political perspective. But sometimes I think we need to take politics out of this and talk about this from a nationalistic perspective, right? Patriotic perspective, because it takes patriotism for all of us to agree on something that is detrimental to the future of our country. And if we don't get a grip of our citizen, people are indisciplined, and not just the Zogo boys, not just the police officers. We see indiscipline happen from the highest of our officers in Liberia. People lack discipline. People don't know how to conduct themselves, and so our young boys and our young girls, they have limited idols to look up to, right? When it comes to what is the right thing to do, how do we conduct ourselves in moments like that? If the police officer pull you over, we've seen police officers abuse citizens, and we've seen citizens abuse each other. All of these things that you're seeing, or it's almost sometimes when these things happen, you think you're in wartime. That's how child soldiers used to beat old men at checkpoints. They give you an order and you're not obeying by the order, they'll beat you. That's how kids beat men and women that were old enough to be their fathers or grandfathers. When you see what happened in Bapolu County, a young woman being tied like that. That's how people were being tied at checkpoints. So when you look around the country and you see all of this lawlessness happening, it's a reflection of our past. And even after all of these years, we still have not gotten closure with what we went through. When people have mental issues, they go and they see a psychologist. When people have issues from the past, whether they were raped, they were abused, they go to counseling for help. What have we done as a country to get us the necessary help that we deserve? God bless America. A lot of us came to this country, and some people even came here, and some people are still going through the trauma of the war, even in this country. Even in this country. So we need to really take the political side of all of this away and think about this holistically. Think about this from a patriotic perspective, and say, listen, we may not agree on policies, we may not agree on political parties, but what do we agree on? We agree that as a country, we need counseling. We just don't need prayers. We need counseling, and it is the responsibility of our government, and it is the responsibility of all of us to ensure that those who need counseling the most get the help that they need. If we don't do that, Mr. Nagbe, Mr. Again, we're going to continue to see these things happening. Some people are suggesting that the police officer move around with gun. But can you imagine if the police officer had gun?
Yeah, right.
You would be talking about dead body by now.
Several of them too. All those people that you
Abs-
were shot them.
there you go. Oh, there you go. You will be talking about dead body, and you will have a lot of premature, irresponsible death. Look at this country where police officers are equipped. They're given the best training. They have all of these different updated trainings. Yet and still, we got issue with reckless killing of citizens. Imagine what would happen in Liberia if police officers were given guns. A lot of people would die, and a lot of nothing would come out of it. So that's an unfortunate situation, man. And I hope that I hope that this young man is brought to task, and my heart goes out to the police officer. These guys don't get paid nothing. They get paid chicken change. Imagine giving someone $150 or $200 every month. I mean, that's not even enough money for my gas. And imagine them having to go through what that young man went through. And sometimes you don't even get the money or the pay on time. I mean, it's a lot of nonsense going on in that country, and we need to get it together.
We had a breaking news. Mr. Myean, did you say they have arrested the young man? You said the police had
Yeah,
arrested.
yeah. So let me see where I can put out the photo. He's currently at the Liberia National Police Headquarters.
Good.
Yes.
So at least, rather, I was a little upset when I heard somebody from the National Police had a press conference or put up a press release.
So here's
Okay,
the fellow.
okay, there you go. Okay, so finally, somebody identified him.
So the guy who the police officer is also at the hospital while
Yeah,
he's
there you
at
go.
the police station.
Man, look, I, Robert, I don't know what to say. I mean, just today we were going through the newspaper. One of the good news we read today is President Weah and the farmers getting, money to go and start their mini farms. But all the other stories, I mean, the University of Liberia, the president was on Capitol Hill yesterday, and she said if she doesn't get $500,000, the school is not going to be open. And she admitted, she says, I needed $44 million, they gave me 33. But the 33 is only on paper. I have not received any money. So
Well, I mean,
what is going on?
well, listen, I'm glad that she's doing something unprecedented, and I hate to say this, but maybe we need more foreigners to run these institutions, because you know what? It's one thing that I noticed. She was very free when she spoke about the underfunding from the Ministry of Finance, and by extension the government of Liberia. She didn't hold back. That's a woman who is not afraid to lose her job. That's a woman who she does not give a darn. And if you fire her, guess what? She doesn't come back to the US to work. She's qualified enough to go and get a job somewhere else with less headache, with less challenges, right? I have not seen other president of the University of Liberia did what that woman did. They've all been part of the political nonsense. And it is very, very sad. You talk about $41 million for a country like Liberia. And you know, one thing she said that was profound, and we missed that part, was 90% of that money that was given is all into salaries.
Yeah, that's what she said.
90% of that money is into salary.
Nothing
Can you
left to fix
imagine?
it. She said that even the bathrooms are not working. No bathroom in the university. She says the money will at least cover adjunct professor vacation school and
Mm-hmm.
getting our bathroom started.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the bathroom in the university started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
So that's what the country is going through. We don't prioritize uh where is needed the most. Education is no joke. We don't prioritize where is needed the most. We got money for everything else. When it comes to what we need to have money for, we don't have money for it. The government of Liberia, Lone Star played yesterday. And for some of us who love soccer, it's not even about soccer, it's about youth development. Lone Star played yesterday, and the budget for those two games were at $342,000.
What?
Up to the time Lone Star played, the government had just recently approved 240 something thousand dollars of the $341,000 for the game. And up till the time those young boys played yesterday, they still had not received that per dime. The per dime is between $1,000 per player. I mean, can you imagine that? And then we have no investment. And then when these guys does not perform, then we say, well, the team is bad. But are we doing what we are supposed to do? If we just allow politicians to enjoy what is left of the country, then how can we improve other sector? Youth in sports is very important in Liberia. It was youth in sports, especially the ones that kept us together. When we never saw reason to come together, we came together to support that. So when it comes to the things that are important, the government got money. How the government got money, but the government could afford a 40-man delegation to Japan and purchase all of their tickets and pay all of those guys the per time?
Our priorities are all backward. Myean, I think it's after 7. Can we open the line and see? This is we gotta talk to someone, because I was talking to some of the friends who think when we are on here, we are bashing the president all day, the administration. But we go through all the newspapers in the country, and what they are headlining is what we are talking about here. Go ahead, announce the numbers.
For those of you who are listening on the radio, you can put your calls in 0777 649986 0777 649986. So Kia Radio is not on for.
Yes, let's use.
Okay. So we have 2FM. The lines are
let's go through 2FM.
649986. So Mr. Gayman, you just read a number for the people who are in the diaspora. So let's work and take this first caller. Hello, caller. Name, where do you call from?
My name is Emmanuel calling from Nagbe.
Javier, go ahead, make a point.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. Thanks to your panelists. I won't lie. I'm a youth. I'm a unity partisan. But I love what you guys do, because you guys there to just start the government to do the rightful thing. Then all the time you're facing the government. For me, if the wrong one can blow, I will say the wrong one will touch the other one. I love it, because that's the only way the government, the minister will keep that weight and wait for the country. And see, that's why I thank you guys so much. But the only one I never heard today, the 2,000 volunteers that I will implore by the president, you guys are talking about one volunteer. It's just volunteer that have been left here. But today, the education minister implored them. So I want to follow the new one. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
0777 649986 +231 on WhatsApp, +231 777 649986. So, Mr. Gayman, can you read your number for the people who are watching and listening from the
Mr. Nagbe, can you put my number on there, please? If you want to call in the U.S., is the local number will be 772-940-2871. You can call and we will pull you through. You can also call through our 609 number and we will pull you through.
You have someone on the line here. Hello, caller.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Your name and where do you call from? Steven Tower Estate, make a point.
Yes, thank you very much for the program. Thank God, God is glory about your blessing. It's our property. But now there's something that we see about the country here. Killing. The people are trying their best, taking the coup from the children, but the liquor going in real life. You see people selling liquor all over in the street. You see that Christian country? How the people will not be wicked? Tell me. They are trying to take something from the children, but going in the street. You see liquor selling in the street. Liquor to go to in the shop. Why you get anything to take, you go in the shop. So we have the Papa have to see about it. You have to be in law. As for the police men in uniform, you find this is the country that we in. Let's go ahead and move in the problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. 0777 649986 0777.
I got a caller on the line. 1 minute.
Okay, you're
Your
right.
name and where you calling from?
Thank you, Mr. Gayman. Elvis calling from Minnesota.
Can you hear him? Hold on 1 minute.
No.
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Yeah, go ahead. Speak a little louder.
Yeah, you guys getting me? This is Elvis from Minnesota.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Look, first of all, I want to say the Lone Star, let's just forget what Lone Star is. That's why you guys are supposed to really appreciate the likes of George Weah and Sylvester Pewee. Because that was our golden generation. When those guys were playing, you took it for granted. You can't produce the likes of those players anymore in Liberia. You can't. That's why people at Summit do all the things that you did, at least invested in those guys and invested in the early career to get them where they were to go play in Europe and really play at a high level. But let me just say this, Mr. Gayman, when it comes to these disgusting guys who are raping young girls, you either have to give them the death sentence or castrate them. I mean, it's nasty when you think about it. Liberian men, our men not taking responsibility, letting our young girls, our young babies being raped by grown men, and we're not taking drastic measures to deter these kind of actions. But lastly, when it comes to President Boyka, I try to be fair to this president, but his demeanor in that meeting today was so disappointing. It was almost jovial. When the country is suffering, the people were there making lighthearted jokes, telling people thank you. What are they doing someone that you're thanking them for? Like, people are suffering, but they're making lighthearted jokes, being so nonchalant, not really, having any kind of seriousness on your face that the country is in dire strait. That was so embarrassing to see from our president. Just tell us that he's enjoying life and he's out of touch with the Liberian people suffering. But thank you for taking my call, Mr. Gayman.
Thank you. Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, the calls are coming in. At least the Unity Party scene, they are appreciating us for at least not making up the stories. That's what he is saying. We are not making up the story. These are real stories. We are quoting the author, the articles, the newspaper where it's coming from. We are not making up the story, so they appreciate that. So when the calls come in or anytime, let us know, and we will go from there.
So let me announce the number once again: 0777 649986 0777 Let's see where we can pick up this caller. Hello, caller. Anima, where do you call from? Yeah, Nima, where do you call from? Okay, make your point tonight.
Yeah. I love that wish to call on your show. Off our radio. To call on your show. I think I have my brother, I call it Timothy John, his name will be George, the team of the son in studio. And then I want to be happy on descendant. But they found one of fast and people used to be happy, even the police director, the police spokesperson, it's a big flag. What I want to say is that people go on that side, they don't look back to us. They don't go back in Liberia. The only thing is that everything that is politics. So I believe that the only thing we can do now is to go back to us.
Okay, thank you.
So you can, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell the Timothy George that my big brother, one man, way used to sell or be happy to call over. He's a really job for Rose, he's a great job for the gift I know it.
Okay, thank you. Hello, caller. Anima, where do you call from?
Hello, good evening. This is Joel, my dear Taylor. I call from Broadway this evening.
Okay, make your point.
I want to extend my greetings to everyone in studio. But I have two concerns this evening.
Go ahead.
The first one has to do with the raping of babies and women around our country. I wonder where are the women in position, because like Madam Youngblade Kanga, during one of her campaign messages, she talk about those things. And I also, the gender ministry is so silent about these things when you hear these things going on. And also the government is not really holding these people and really giving them some harsh punishment, because for me, looking at a baby and doing those kind of thing is almost like you taking a knife to cut the person's throat. So those people, I don't think government should even keep them in jail, because when you keep them in jail, they will be fed by their family members and they will be saying a whole lot of things. So the only solution to those people that are raping, it should be a death sentence. Then let the Moses law come back to take over. And the next thing that is on my mind, it has to do with the police officers and the keke rider or the motorbike rider. At times, some of us will move from one place to another, and we can see some of the disadvantages. Especially those people that are responsible to control the cyclists and the motor riders. Sometimes you just see them engaging the riders, with anger. I think they should do it professionally, because sometimes to the children, they're doing their own thing before they get into the traffic. So sometimes we the riders said that when the children can address us at times, we can leave our respect home, but we going out, we can leave our respect right in our home. So the only thing I want to encourage the law enforcers, they should take time to handle those guys, because some of them, they come from different areas before they sit inside that place. I'm sorry for the incident, but they said to they need to respect the law as they are handling those boys that are riding. This is my contribution on the show this evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I
Let's
got a
go
call.
and pick up the next call. Hello, caller. Nima, what do you call from? Okay, Mr. Gayman, you can go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Your name and where you calling from?
I'm Gabriel Gayman calling from Ohio.
Go ahead.
That call is very, very low.
Listen to President Waka cabinet meeting he had today. Waka was privately provoking our people to say the country is okay. Waka tasted suffering a short time. He was not in power the 6 years. You know what it means when you don't have hospital bill. You know what it means when you don't have food. When you reduce the price of rice, they couldn't have the income. He fired on the ordinary citizen that's supposed to be making $150, $100 to buy the bag of rice. He fired the people and telling the people they're going to talk. The country is rescued. Waka is provoking the people. And besides that, the police officer, they're supposed to be professional. You cannot see somebody driving and you jump on the person. I don't care what happened. He could have killed the boy. So what happened? Somebody fell on the board. They have to restrain themselves. Look at the speaker. See what the speaker did. And from the other two people reacting. See what the speaker did. Richard Kung told the police to bust into the Seleke Kromah car. Richard Kung told the police the representative to bust in the speaker office. That their attitude is being portrayed. Waka wanted war if we were never going to win election. Let's be realistic. Waka need to change their attitude. Tell your officers, tell a government official, their authorities are provocative. People will say a lot of bad things to you, Waka, because why? You get a government agency, information, abusing the former president. Why do you expect for people to do the Waka? Waka is creating more anger in the country. He enjoying now. He ride millions out of car. He enjoying the country resources. He's happy. Everything is okay for the people. The people are suffering. They don't have the money to buy the rice we're talking about. It's not only rice. You got the fish. You got other things. Transportation. Everything is high in the country. But you make a lot of provocative statement against our people. The government need to calm down and solve the people problem. But when you go and you make a lot of provocative statement, don't mind them. The country is going well. That's why you see all the problem happening. The police need to calm down.
Thank you.
Somebody cannot be driving, you be fighting the person. That's reckless behavior. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, let's go and pick up this next call. You have a caller there?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, caller. Go ahead and make your point. Your name.
Yeah, I'm calling from Channel Different.
Okay, make your point now.
Yeah, my point of the government. One, the president taking up people to be a complete fool. So So we accepted it. We said the man not sick. We were still putting there when the man died. We were putting there. So he ready to tell us, we ain't trained. We ain't this one. He accepted that because we saw him. He carried on out before doing something while he was sitting on the floor where he represented the Kehleboe was causing former president. So then sitting president at that time. And he supported it. He just don't understand from years taking for another work from where he took it from. Every time I remember him causing videos, talking, responding to the people where he want to do it, then telling us that we're not ready yet. So it's like, brother, just take the country to be future. But we don't blame him. We blame the people who there, or you take your land deed, you take and give your old grandma who is 85 years old, who is quick to forget all the people did. They took your land deed and they gave it to one old man who is 85 years old. So the land deed lost and the brother land deed lost. So we're looking for a no to find it. There's a bugger, we think we're good bugger. So don't understand and forgetting about the Nagbe people. In the wood, what I including in Nagbe people. So that one is power there. So we need it, we'll feed it for the kids yet.
Okay, thank you.
Now, we'll get to know what our investing power.
Okay, thank you. Thank you ever so much. 077-649986 077-64. Let's work and pick up this next caller. Hello, caller.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, your name and where do you call from?
Yeah, I'm Peter Rabos calling from a Garguah resident. I want to appreciate you people very much for what you are doing for Liberia. And I will always monitor your show.
Thank you.
This is my first time calling. Yeah, I got two concerns. And my first concern has to do with what is happening now in Liberia. The motorcycles, for me, have been updated on several occasions. The motorcyclists, no job opportunity in Liberia. There are a lot of college graduates and other things with profession, and no job. And people are struggling and surviving. Sometimes from motorbike riding, keke riding. But the motorcyclists have been taken mad, and the government of Liberia, they don't say nothing about it. Only when the cyclists rise on one day and say that, we will run after you. They got group here, they call it the motorbike road. Every day in Liberia, over 10 persons can be fed them out. Either they kill the person, and some of them get gone, and they got quarters. They will run after the cyclists, and they'll kill them and take their motorbike. And most of these guys, they are in the community in which the cyclists know them. But we are complaining, and the government is not saying anything. Only when the cyclists rise up one day and say we will go after those killers that are killing our people. Then the only time you see human rights will come in and say, this is it. But now, they're not saying anything. Today, there was another victim at the police station. They went to look for a fool. They carry him all the way in the corner. They chopping, and the kind of blood that was leaking for him. So I want the government like blood, I'm appealing to the government like blood, the police, and the president like blood, so that they can swiftly intervene in this matter. We're begging them. The country is looking at this, and we don't blame anybody, but when we are struggling for ourselves, then they got group, then some of them got gone. Who gave these people the gun? The other they came to Peabody and they started shooting. They shoot them and Rambo on 6, and the police out there, they fled, and they made away with 3, 4 motorbikes. It's troubling. It's worrisome for us. So that's I'm concerned, and my next concern is that we got all the resources in the country. And look at the other one that we just discovered later. We got all the resources in Liberia. Still Liberia is still for our roads. Can't see the kind of department roads we have in Liberia. It's too disheartening. I want to thank you very much for the show. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. 077-649986. 077-649986. And Mr. Gimmick, just read out your number from your end there.
Yes, the number to call locally here would be 609-334-6619 or 772-982-8255. 9402871. Myean, if you go flag those two numbers, if you go highlight those two numbers, it will be great.
Yes, let me see if I can highlight that. See.
Yes, Mr. Nagbe, the folks are saying that yes.
So we have someone on the line here. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, caller.
Hey, Johnny, I'm tuning for the GSO.
Okay, make your point.
My point is that when I translated for other things to the worker, the reason is that they were walking into nothing. He paid the national program that was 12 years. He paid the 40 million barrel. He paid the impossible part. He paid Babu that 2 million hospital. That's when people say, oh, the man do nothing. They will do nothing. Yeah, now we are going to top down. Physically, every year, as my brother saying, they kill the motorcycle man. And transfer million, 15 million per year. Then get up to the learning about 40 million for 25 years. 2 years at 20 million. Now that learning man went well, motorbike get all the police people, every ticket they sell, you get 500 there. You know how many losing that they're going through? You need 15 million per year. You're going to get paid for 40 million for 25 years. Can't that money take? Take 4 years from there. And all the political guys are harassing people. They went to that Jeremy Johnson. They went to all the so-called and we got that Kissy, Bani, Loma, they put in city police. Harassing Jeremy Johnson and whatever. We from the back end. It's a sign to us with the identical. Look at what the learning men doing in Liberia. They're all a motorable, maybe the not kind of the real candidate. They're on the highway, harassing people. They have to let them get in, just say a ticket. If we carry the ferry tire and low mirror, just say a ticket. It is wrong. But we like people, it's a curse on the nation. Curse on the nation here. Curse on the nation. Look at the bringing our citizens here. It's something I forget it. They are renting a house. Why you can do it? You give me kind of move. But the child can't say, okay, you forget it. They think they're going to sell that place. What happens to do? One on the strike and take that place. Take in the code. What will be the losing? That's my point.
Okay.
Thank
you. Thank you so much. 077649986. So we have roughly about 2 minutes to be on the radio here at Triple FM.
Yes. We will be 8 o'clock. We'll be going up the air. So we got 32 minutes. The next 2 minutes we'll be talking. Our friends and audience in Radio Land, we have our friends that are listening to us through Truth FM. We want to thank you for being loyal. We've been getting calls from, I didn't know we reached as far as Guinea. We got people calling from Book, that's in Sierra Leone. We had somebody call as far as the Ivory Coast, over the Kepamas. We have people from Sano, River G. So it looks like we are covering the whole country, and that's a good thing. And it's good for the citizens to have somewhere to call to vent, talk about these issues. It is therapeutic for folks to call and talk about these issues. The country is going through a tough time. And this is not politics. This is reality. I am feeling it. Mr. Nagbe is feeling it. Joe Moyu is feeling it. Mr. Peabody is feeling it, because sometimes you just don't want to pick up your calls. They are so desperate. They will call you 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock, because times are so hard. They lost their sense of direction. They call you any time of the night, in the morning. Everybody wants help. This tells you that times are hard. For those are the folks in Liberia who sit there and say, you're just sitting in America and you're eating burger and chicken all day. You ain't doing nothing for the country. Do you know what we go through? The little money we make here, we have to share it with families and friends. A respectable gentleman called me one morning and said, "My man, it's rough. Just send me something." He said, "All I need is just $20 to buy something and send the kids to school." Can you imagine a reputable human being that was generous to us when we were growing up? He's not asking for $1,000. He's not asking for $500. He's only asking for 20. Can you imagine a father, head of a household, to put his pride aside and call another man and say, "My man, only don't just I need $20 for the kids can get to school." I mean, it takes courage to do this. This is not politics. This is the reality on the ground. Times are tough. And like the young man was saying, the president was. I listened to one of his video, one of the clips, where he said that people, Liberian people, just talk any way they want to do. They don't have any house training. They don't have any training, no home training. People are talking about the frustration. I don't, Mr. Robert Garguah. I mean, you're talking about a mother and her husband cutting the finger of another woman's child because they were taking care of the baby and the baby fell. You know, walking the child fell. Can you imagine putting the person's finger on the chopping board and crushing, cutting it, amputating the person's finger as a punishment? Who does that in their right mind? Then a 23-year-old man raping an 8-month-old baby. And not only that, but the law enforcement of the magistrate himself is arrested for raping somebody. So where do we go for redress?
Listen, I mean, like I said earlier, all of what we see happening is a reflection of the trauma of the war. These things happen excessively during the war. Those soldiers raped women and children and babies. You know, cutting people's fingers and cutting people's throat were the norm. You know, again, we have not sought as a country, Mr. Nama, Mr. Gayman, to really put a plan. You know, reconciliation is one thing. We have not done that effectively. But reintegration is a key component of the fall margin of our country. We have not done anything. It almost seems like, you know, we take advantage of I don't even want to call this our tradition. It almost like, well, everybody for themselves, God for us. That's the mindset. The strong survive. That's what we're doing, and it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. If you really put things in perspective, when was the last time in the last 40 something years? Or I'm going too far because I wasn't even born then. But when was the last time in the last 30 something years? Or when was the last time since the war that we said, or anyone in Liberia said to you, times are not hard? As far back as I can remember, times has always been hard. When government after the other, times have been hard. When people tell you Liberia sweet, people are telling you Liberia sweet because they can afford the bare minimum. That's what people are telling you. People are telling you Liberia sweet because when we go, we're able to afford the luxurious lifestyle that is relatively inexpensive. even though Liberia is expensive to live a certain lifestyle. But relatively, you know, you can't afford that kind of lifestyle if you're not a movie star, or if you're not making $300,000-400,000 annually, right? So for the majority of the people, times have always been hard for the past 3 decades, and none of us have actually sat, including the voters, the people who say muya 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 muya. They're getting older. They're getting older. Their lives have not changed. They're still calling and depending on family members from abroad for ends meet. Meanwhile, they have no retirement, but they're getting older. No one has sat to say, when would times be normal? When can we say times are not hard? I might need help, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. My future seems to be secure. When?
We're muted.
For that to happen. For that to happen. Times are hard. Times been hard. It's ridiculous. But these things are happening because we have not put in place a plan for reintegration. A lot of our people need counseling outside of just prayer, Mr. Gibb. People saw things. When you see a mother and a father chop the hands of a baby because she fell, I mean, logically, it doesn't make sense. It's demonic. You cannot make that make sense. You should be consoling the baby, taking her to hospital for farting, and you're inflicting more pain on her for farting. Are you kidding me? A grown ass man raping a baby. These things are not normal. These things are not normal, but we have overlooked all of these things happened during the war. Massive mayhem, rape. I mean, people eating people, and the same young boys who ate people intestines and all the different things that happened during the war. Today they are called Zogos. They are hustling, but they have not gotten the help. So, what do you think will happen if you give them the opportunity to do the very same things? Listen, we need to get our act together. That's why 2029 is a very important election. That's why 2029 is a very important election, because we need to get to a place where we politicians just stop telling us what we need to hear, to us actually looking at the record and saying, you know what? We need a man, we need a woman who has a track record of getting things done. When you go to any job that is challenging, and I've been through that, the first thing you want to do, you want to earn the trust of your staff, because there's nothing you tell them they'll believe, because they have not been in a place where anything leaders say to them, they don't believe it. People going in and out. You need that trust. We have not had a leader that we can really trust. Joseph Boaga talking about people are jealous of the progress that he made. What are those progress that he's made? When the economy is still bad, it's worse off than he inherited. And these guys were supposed to come with better economic ideas to get us moving. What are some of the economic progress that they've made? So listen, we need to get our act together, man. We need to get our act together.
Victor, not to step aside, but lately, I mean, there are two things I want to talk about real quick. During the past administration of even during early time, these women, they were women groups, they were protesting everywhere. Men having too many girlfriends, they protesting. When Charlotte Musu thing, they were out there. I mean, they have gone from, well, guy get too many girlfriends, to a grown man raping a baby, a woman cutting the finger of another child, a girl child, another woman in Wapulu being tabed, being tied and disgraced, and we hear nothing from the women. Nothing from the women advocate that Rabbi is here, he been on this show forever. It looked like that's all we were covering. Every day women were out there protesting for rape, for this, for that, and nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The absence of these voices, very concerning. But again, the last time our women came out, said no to drugs. Within a month or so, one of them got up and privatized, the collective, and made it her own. And so I guess everybody's hungry. Everybody is hungry in Liberia. It's not a funny matter we're discussing here, but it's these are sad times in Liberia, Jerome. Yeah, but you're right. Where are the women? They're very powerful voices in Liberia. We have very powerful women who have very big microphones. They should be able to mount the podium, and put some heat on some of these things. But sadly, most of our women, they're very quiet. Some of them are on the boards of these corporations, so they're going to bed with the government. It makes it very difficult for them to talk. Where's the opposition community? You will ask. I mean, the opposition community, besides the recent CDC, brouhaha, I haven't heard much except for the CMC. I mean, I'll be honest. I know people will say, "Yeah, oh, he's just trying to find a way to talk about CMC," but it is because right now it is the only thing that seems to be active in the space. I mean, the CDC, we they're the biggest party here. We give it to them, but where are they on these matters? I think they themselves, they seem to be losing their voice. Where is the opposition? Nobody is calling this government out to anything. They do whatever they please, and nothing happens. I mean, you are referencing to remind me, Robert, is the president by now the opposition should put out a statement, you know, taking issue with the president's characterization of what is going on in the country. Is he joking? I mean, did he come from under a rock? Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
That's an insult to our people. People are finding they're catching hell, trying to make ends meet, and you're gonna sit over there and trivialize it because you're drinking your cup of coffee and all of that, and you get up from there, you sit down in your armored vehicle. I think it's wrong. It's a disservice and disrespect to our people. And the opposition's ask is silent. I mean, but yeah, you're right. We're the critical voices. Why is nobody speaking out in these things? You talk about the situation in that district, and I hope the PR will pick it up. The magistrate, I mean, these are people, like you say, who are supposed to be upholding the law, and they are the transgressors. So now who is left, to uphold the law?
Well, before we go, you gotta give me your best and worst politician or organization or player of the week. So talk to me. Who are your men and women of the hour that just made an extraordinary contribution to society, or an ordinary person doing extraordinary thing? Give me one of the best and one of the worst. It's a number I begin with. You give me your best and your worst.
Obviously, my best is gonna go to the CMC, team of recruiters, the executive team. They've done quite a bit over the past couple of weeks. There's no shame in that, and I'm not bragging or boasting. It's just the facts I'm putting out there. They have impressed me very well, and the political leader right now is braving a storm in Lofa, Kwanoboni, region, and trying to reach out to our people and explain to them what is possible. So I give them, the best men. If I can give it to a group of men, I will have to call out the CSA director again. I believe this is my second time. He is a mixed bag. There are times when you sit back and say, this Jokai guy, he's worth really giving a little bit more attention. But he doesn't get out of his own way, And before you can finish saying something good about him, he will go ahead and do 2 or 3 different bad things. I heard his rebuttal on the Spoon investigation of this nepotism that they say he's practicing in government. He did not deny any of that. He's just justifying why these people are in government, I mean, I don't understand this guy. He's very, very difficult to follow. And because of that, I will give him the worst performing right now character in the government. I mean, there are other people, but I think he takes the lead.
I like the part where he said, yes, they might be from Lofa, but we are not related. I'm from Zozo.
I'm from Salye.
I'm from Salye. He's from Zozo, so we're not related. So
Maybe the president walked from his district to Zaza too.
Robert Garguah, who is your best politician or organization or institution? Who is the worst for the month? You're muted.
I've been sitting here thinking, this is just unique to Liberia, right?
Yeah, this is Liberia. That's correct.
I think I would give the best. I would give the University of Liberia, the president. I would give her credit. I think so far she's my best. Yes, and I think that I think if you have public, you have people in public spaces appointed by the government, work at the will and pleasure of the president or whatever the heck that is. I think you can learn a thing or two from her. I think we've got to be fierce, and this is the reason why I always encourage young people, and I take my hat out to those who've relocated back home. But I'm trying to take my time to go to relocate back home because I don't want to be that guy um, that will have to be careful with what I say, even if what I been careful with is just the truth, right? Because I'm afraid that I might lose a daily bread. And I think that she exhibited that. That's a woman who does not care about being president of the title. She wants to make an impact. She's frustrated. Her goal is not about just being president of the University of Liberia. It's about, now that I'm here, this is what I need, and I'm not getting what I need, and I'm demanding what I need. And I want to be transparent with the public. If I don't get what I need, the University of Liberia will continue to be in the dilapidated space that it finds itself in today. The place is dirty. The place is dirty. I don't understand how people continue to learn. I would not send my kid to the University of Liberia. And even if I don't trust the education system, my fear would be more health related than the quality of the education. That place is nasty. The place is completely nasty. And so I think she's my best. I think my worst is it gotta be the so-called director of records. I don't know who made her director of records. It gotta be
Today,
it gotta be
somebody
it,
posted her picture. She said,
yeah, it gotta be it
but
gotta be
the computer is all, and the mouse is behind the computer." You can tell.
it gotta be the director of they gotta be the director of, well, it's both the director of records and the MCC boss.
LIB.
uh and yeah, because he's talking about she speaks like the way she speaks because she smoked too much weed. And she talking about he's corrupt. It looked like there's two things happening. Yeah, then and both of them fit within the arrest agenda. Uh, because because Joseph Boakai is not only combating drugs when it comes to Zogos, but one of his top director seems like she needs to be rehabilitated as well. Listen, it's unfortunate. I mean, I look at the woman all the time, and I'm like, I mean, this girl, if you didn't know, I mean, she's a Zogo. She speaks like a Zogo. She looks like a Zogo. She looks like she's always high. I mean, I don't know if she took the president was boasting about taking drug
But you
tests.
got girl crying and just as you fired and sitting there. What she said?
She said he's incompetent and corrupt, and then he said you smoke too much weed.
So she's need rehabilitation, and he needs to be checked when it comes to corruption. So the president hand is full. But listen, I think they both are my worst politician of the week.
Well,
Hello, Jerome. Give me 5 seconds. Let me recognize our man, Dr. Peabody. He said he's sorry he can't be on the show. You know, man, Bravo and Tomalin, and they're going the body. I don't know because he deliver body blow to people. Or what All right, Doc, we hear you, my man.
My player of my best player of the week has to be Musa Hassan Belete. The way he addressed the issue with Dr. Richardson and Jackie, I think it was gentlemanly, it was statesmanly, it was fatherly. When you are the father of children, when they are making flour in our Liberian parlance, you swallow the hard pill and tell one, listen, what you did wasn't right. Go and do right by your sister. Apologize to your sister. And let's go from there. Let's do a restart. If this was Joseph Walker, he wouldn't have said anything. He wouldn't address it. And he would say whatever he says. But this shows that Musa Belete is serious. And this goes to Victor Nagbe, myself, and everybody else within his orbit. That if we did anything wrong, he would look you in the face and tell you you were wrong. And I think it takes guts to do this, man. We are talking about your global chair, the person who is at the top, the arrowhead of your organization, to look at her and say, you know what, this was not your best. You can do better. I think it takes guts, and I appreciate that. My worst has to be Josiah Joker again. Josiah Joker was on the show defending the budget, CSA budget. And he says, I pay 105 entities, including the SOE. And the guy said, no, that's not true. The SOE are independent. They take care of their own budget. He said, no, I pay them. I have the budget. Then they look at the budget from the finance ministry. It was also out of whack. The man said, all of you guys are out of whack. Then Mr. Amos Toye came from LRA, came to buttress the CSA. He didn't understand the question, and he said, whoever said that they were paying the autonomous agency, it's a lie. We pay our own agent, we pay our own salary. But the guy said, but this is what I'm saying. Josiah Joker, you hear what the man said? You say you pay this man. The man said that's a lie. He paid his own agency. So he just got caught. Then he wants to tell the guy, I have a PhD. You can't argue with me. Can you imagine? A man with a PhD try to intimidate somebody, and his records are wrong. His numbers don't add up. That is the arrogance we are talking about, the stupidity. How many does what a man need? Elon Musk, does he have a PhD?
No.
But he's about to be trillionaire, the first trillionaire on earth.
And he was a college dropout.
That's correct. Bill Gates, all these guys. So for you to have a PhD and you think nobody should say anything, because I mean, Liberia, something is wrong with us. So this is where we are. So my best would be Musa Belete because of the way he handled his situation in the organization. And the worst is Mr. Josiah Joker. Whoever you are, Mr. Josiah Joker, you are a terrible administrator. And whether you get PhD or PCP, it doesn't matter. The number just doesn't add up. We got 7 minutes. Mr. Nagbe, I want to congratulate you and your Eagles for pulling it off yesterday. How you do it? How you do it over there? You do it like that, okay?
Yeah, but
let's go to the Dirty Birds in Atlanta. Are you guys gonna do something this year?
No, man, I'm not. I mean, I can't say it too loud.
Why, Robert? Why, man?
Because the Falcons. I'm not a big fan of the Falcons, man. I lost $1,500. A buddy of mine came from South Africa.
God!
When they played New England, when the Super Bowl came to Georgia, they were leading 27-3 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, I will bet you New England will win. You can't. I said, you sure about that? He said, yeah. I said, okay, let's do 1,500. He was about to say, he wanted us to do 5K. And I thought something was wrong with him. Because I was almost guaranteed that there's no way New England would have come back. And before I went to the bathroom and came back, New England was up. And that was the last time I bet with the Falcons. So I mean, I think they recruited. They have
Matt Ryan that time, or who was the QB?
No, they have Matt Ryan. at that time. Yeah, they had Matt Ryan at that
They call him
time.
Matty Ice.
Yeah. Spent all that money on him, but I think that they recruited the CEO, the black guy. I know him very well. You know, because we were home to the Falcons, so I kind of know him very well. I think he's a very smart young man, and he's getting a lot of things. And one of the great things he did last season was he recruited the black coach, and I think since this guy came in, he's been putting some things in place. You know what I mean? So, so I wish them all the best. But I'm about to go. Before I go, I want to congratulate my uncle, the former CEO of Knockout. He's getting married this weekend, so my wife and I will be in Newark to celebrate him. Chris
New
Neal.
York?
Yeah, Chris Neal. Yeah.
Oh, Chris Neal's getting married. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Before you go, Mr. Fix Electronics says his person of the week is Ahmed Sharif. Ahmed Salif is the power player of the week, brings Fasad Joseph. Okay, that's a good one. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to leave. We want to say thank you very much for tuning in. We'll do this again on Monday. Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
You are my honorable mention of the week, my man. You keep holding it down. Congratulations. I like the Bulls. Keep it up, man.
Yeah, today the last day for Trogon. Trogon page, you off the hook as of Monday, no more bow tie. Thank you very much. I'll see you on Monday.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.